proud to be a hometown farmer.
Mike Divis has been sticking around bees for more than a decade now. He runs a honey bee farm in Anthon, Iowa, a job that started as a hobby 12 years ago. Now he's fighting to keep his hive strong and understand what's been making his bees die in massive numbers.
This is a package of bees. It's called a 3-pound package. It comes from California.
Unlike most people, this sound doesn't bug Mike Divis. A friend lured him into the world of honey bees.
I met a man that was a beekeeper, and I actually helped him, worked with him part-time, and got interested in the bees, and I began selling honey first that I bought from him, and then I thought, well, I could actually get the bees and make the honey myself.
He's what you would call a bee lover.
My famous saying is it's a sweet business, but you get stung once in a while.
His bee biz felt this sting back in 2006. 3/4 of his bees suddenly died. Mike blames neonicotinoids, an insecticide used in everything from corn and soybeans to lawn care.
Almost 100% of all of our corn is treated with this insecticide, and about 60 to 70% of the soybeans, and that really affects our bees, and our bees are actually getting sick from that.
So that year he stopped packing honey and decided to stick to just raising bees.
This was probably a mistake. We should have kept the packing business, but we lost about 75% of our bees in 2006, and every year since then we've been losing between 30 and 50%.
But he's an optimist. Now, it might not look like much here on the bee farm, but in this one package that Mike picks up from California, there's actually 10,500 bees, including the queen.
We just have to reinvest in new bees, bring bees in, package bees like we seen a moment ago, and put those in our hives and try to keep the hives going.
After all, you won't find many people who want to buzz about this insect as much as he does.
They are absolutely fighters. They just overcome a drought, they overcome poisons, they overcome so many things just to survive. And if we humans could learn lessons from them, that'd be kind of cool.
Mike says he plans on keeping bees for as long as he can. He also teaches classes to beginner beekeepers and is a board member for the Iowa Honey Producers. Nearly 2 years ago, Lamar's Iowa farmer Fred Schiefen faced his biggest fear. His hip started giving him problems, and it turned out he needed a hip replacement. Unable to do any sort of heavy lifting, he turned to his then 14-year-old son, Travis. Although he's very young, this teen agreed to be the man in charge on the farm. Travis Schiefen may have another growth spurt ahead of him, but he's stronger than he looks, helping his dad run the family farm.
Before he had the hip replacement, I was mostly just like the second man, just always with him. Once in a while, I would do stuff like tag a calf for my first time and milk it, and if I had problems.
But now they've reversed roles. Travis is almost 16 years old and running the show, while Fred watches over him. A hefty job for only a sophomore in high school.
Sometimes I get up early to help them before I go to school, but I mostly like to sleep in, so it's kind of hard. But when I get home from school, the second I do is go inside, grab a meal or like a quick snack, and then get on outside, and then feed the cows and stuff like that.
When Fred found out he'd have to be on the sidelines,
I said to him, you know, it's your responsibility, and do you want to carry on the family tradition? And he jumped right in and took knowledge.
One day we got a cow that had a calf got under the fence, and I had to bring it, and I was outside looking at stuff, and I noticed the calf, and I just got up beside of him and easily got him right back in.
He knows more about cattle at 15 than I did probably when I was 30, just because he picks up on it real fast.
I just started out, but I'm growing. I have 4 head right now.
He even created his own brand for his cows. Sketch after sketch, Travis spent a few days on his own drawing out him and his dad's branding. Each of these letters means something different according to their family history.
It's got the F for Fred, the T for my kids that we got 4 kids, and the J for my wife, and the S that's in it. It's all family tied together.
A family that turned what could have been a tough transition into an easy one.
I love the outdoors, and I love to work with my hands, so it's a great deal to do. And I just love farm work, and I enjoy it a lot, and it's really fun.
He was my right-hand man, and couldn't have done it without him.
Travis hopes to study agriculture in college. Meanwhile, his brother is a junior at Iowa State. Fred would like to have his two boys take over the farm one day. Welcome to the Hiney Farms feedlot. More than 3,500 acres, the Hiney brothers and their team feed as many as 14,000 cattle at one time, a place they've always called home.
We live right across the road. It's kind of nice to come outside the door and come to your job.
A working atmosphere too familiar to leave.
Our dad died at an early age, and so we just didn't know anything else other than this business, and so we just basically grew up with it.
This is what the farm looked like back in 1972.
This was the original house that had been added on several times over the years.
Today, Steve and Ron have their duties cut out for them. Steve manages the outside chores,
It's easier than going to town and getting a job, that's for sure.
while Ron handles the front office. He claims they usually agree with each other.
It can be a challenge on occasions, but we stay so busy that we really don't have a chance to argue about a lot of things. We generally always get along.
And with the operation they're running, they definitely need all the help they can get.
There's always something going on as far as cattle. They need to be fed morning, noon, and night, and there's always fences to fix and different things going on, and we keep them all busy.
Just as a whole, it's just a good place to work, and it's a good family atmosphere, and just a really, really nice bunch of guys to work for.
These nice guys don't settle either.
We want to do some expansion, and it's mostly because if you stay status quo, you'll die a slow death.
And speaking of expanding, they're actually building a new office here, a way to help their growing business.
It was a thing where we were just pretty much outgrew what we had, and we felt that we live in that place more than we do at home probably, so we felt that it was time.